Betty had always loved animals, but as she grew older, she found it harder and harder to take care of them. Living alone in a small house in the countryside, she spent most of her days sitting on the porch, watching the birds and squirrels scurry around in her yard. Little did she know that one day a tiny robotic squirrel would come into her life and change it forever. As she sat on her porch one day, Betty saw a small mechanical squirrel scurrying around in her yard. At first, she was startled, but then she realized it was just a toy. Her grandson had sent it to her to keep her company and make her life easier. Betty was skeptical at first, but she soon found herself growing attached to the little robot. It was programmed to help her with simple tasks around the house, and even had a little screen on its belly that would display messages from her grandson. The squirrel became her constant companion, and she would spend hours on the porch watching the birds and talking to her new friend. But one day, as a fierce storm raged outside, Betty heard a loud crack of thunder, and suddenly, there was a blinding flash of lightning that struck the robotic squirrel. Betty gasped in horror as she watched the squirrel fall lifeless to the ground. Desperate, Betty tried everything she could think of to fix it, but nothing worked. She called her grandson, hoping he could help, but he told her that it was beyond repair. Betty was heartbroken. She had grown so attached to her little friend that she didn't know what to do without it. But she remembered something her mother had told her when she was a child. Sometimes the best things in life come from unexpected places. She realized that even though the squirrel was gone, the memories and happiness it had brought her would always be with her. From that day on, Betty started spending more time outside, watching the birds and enjoying the beauty of nature. And even though she didn't have her robot squirrel with her anymore, she knew that she still had the love and companionship of all the animals around her.